Hi everyone, welcome to another question and answer session where we answer your questions, and today we're going to be answering a question from
Jazzy1. And so Jazzy1 asks, can you guys do a video on how you adjusted to marriage, living together, etc. in the light of cultural differences? Okay. So
adjusting to living together
because of cultural differences and the way we were brought up.
Yeah.
So for me,
I think
it's more changes for me rather than Primrose.
Exactly, yeah. Because I was already used.
And you were independent from the age of 16.
Yeah, I lived by myself since I was 16, so I knew how to
run a house.
Be on my own, pay the bills and all that stuff. I clean and all, you know. And it was it was more Jazz who, I think this affected him a lot more than it did me, isn't it?
Yeah, from my side, because I came from a like I said, an Indian Sikh household. Most of the time the guys in that sort of a household won't have to even lift a finger. So if I wanted to have something to eat, all I would say, I'd shout to mum and I'd say, "Mum, can you get me a cup of tea and an omelette?"
Wow.
Like, it was like that. And my mum would never say, "Who do you think you're talking to?" She'd never say that. She would turn around and say, "Okay, son, how many eggs do you want?" Or "How many toast do you want?" It'd be like that. So it was so good because you didn't have to lift a finger. And that goes on up until you're a young adult. It's quite bad, really.
It still goes on, if you're home now.
I mean, when I go around now, even she won't let me lift a finger. I just say, "Look, I'm doing it, leave it."
Yeah.
So when obviously at that point, I had to learn how to basically start being a good man, a good husband.
Yeah.
So when we got together, we had a discussion about this because she could see that I wasn't doing anything while she was doing all the cooking and cleaning. Yeah.
So I just basically said to him, because I knew that he was putting a lot on the line and vice versa. So I said to him, like, if this relationship is gonna work, you are gonna have to put in 50% of the efforts.
Like, you can't just sit around.
You can't just sit around after work watching football, TV, whatever it is, whilst I'm doing everything. Because over time, resentment's gonna build up, and eventually, our relationship could end up failing because I'm gonna feel like, well, I do everything.
Plus, you work and I work.
Yeah, and I'm going to work just like you. So how can you expect to come home and just sit there whilst I do everything? And then what's gonna happen when the kids come along? So I had conversation with Jazz, and how were your feelings when I said?
I mean, when she spoke to me, I was kind of a bit shocked, and I thought, why are you? Like, it stressed me out a little bit because I thought, oh no, I've got to learn something I don't enjoy doing.
That's it.
But then I thought to myself, wait a minute, like, how can you let something this affect your relationship with your partner? In all honesty, stop being a child.
Yeah.
I thought to myself at that point. So I mean, I even turned around and said to her, "Look, I can't cook, so don't expect me to cook. Like, I'll do a bit of cleaning."
Yeah, I can't cook and I won't cook.
Yeah, I can't cook, won't cook. And Prim goes, "Look, no, you can't. Look, I said I'll do the cleaning. How about that?"
I said no, because
she goes, "No, but you got to share because maybe I come home at 10 o'clock at night and I need dinner."
Because we used to do shifts at the time.
Yeah.
So I could even come home 10:30. You can't be waiting for me at home to come home and start cooking.
Plus kids. If we have kids in the future, you were thinking, And
I also said to you, like, I also want to know that once we have kids in the future, if anything happened to me because of the situation that we had with the family, opposing the wedding and everything, I didn't want just to be alone, because his mom wasn't gonna be there to support him. So I didn't want him to be alone with our kids because I didn't know what the future was going to turn out to. So I needed to know for myself that if anything happened, Jazz was going to be able to take care of our kids. He was going to be able to take care of the house and our home.
But again, that does come down to cultural differences because obviously culturally I wasn't taught any of this because I didn't have to do it. I was going to get a wife that was going to do all that for me.
Exactly.
So culturally I had to make a lot of mental changes. Such a hard time, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I was putting so much on the line, really. So at that point, then she started teaching me. Well, she learned a bit of Indian food, and then I started learning how to cook Indian food.
Yeah.
Which then I became, I'd say, better than her at cooking because I already had the mental visualization of how it should be cooked or how it should taste.
Because you saw it being cooked.
And I knew about spices, and I knew about smells with Indian food, whereas Prim didn't really know that.
Yeah.
So, but she did it great, and then she taught me, and I ended up, and then she taught me a load of other dishes.
Exactly. So we started off with something simple, didn't we?
Yeah.
We started off with simple stuff, and then we started like building from there, and now you're a whiz kid in the kitchen.
Yeah, perfect. Now I can make meals all week long, like no problem, from scratch.
Yeah, because that was another thing, isn't it? He's very healthy. He goes to the gym virtually every other day. Well, you do go
3 times a week. I try and go.
Yeah, 3 times a week. He's very conscious into his healthy eating, and our kids, we don't want them to be just relying on takeaways and food in the microwave. Like 99% of the time we do like food from scratch.
Our food's all cooked, so at least let's just say 6 days out of the week it's all cooked from scratch.
Exactly. So no takeaways, no microwave meals. So he had to learn how to do it, and I think
even with cleaning, I had to learn again. There was a few times where I had to ask you advice about certain things. How should I do this, or
how do you wash up with
like
washing machine?
I mean, loads of stuff. How do I use a washing machine?
Yeah,
I only learned that a couple of months ago. Like, in all honesty, she let me off the hook for years.
Because I was like, okay, fine, washing I can do, because that's only putting stuff in the washing machine and switching it on. I can deal with that. But now, you're awesome.
I only learned that a couple of months ago, right? And it's been 9 years since we've been together. But like I said, I do the kicking and cleaning, and whoever cooks doesn't wash.
Exactly.
And whoever cooks doesn't wash, and that worked for us. So I had to learn that.
So I think adjusting to like married life, I'm rubbish. If I go shopping for grocery shopping, I come back with the whole shop. I cannot stick to the shopping list. I'm just absolutely rubbish, and I just hate going shopping. So just not okay. He does the shopping. So he does the grocery shopping. I put the shopping away.
Plus, I can get what I want. I look at the prices properly.
Yeah.
Where she doesn't, she just picks it up.
Like,
so the bill's like 100 quid, and she could have saved 20 quid because she bought them the stuff that was not on offer.
I'm absolutely rubbish. Yeah. So we worked as a team and said, okay, fine, you're good at this. Why don't you do that? Yeah, you're good at this. Why don't you do that?
We didn't get angry at each other. And that you don't want that to affect your relationship.
Yeah.
Like, we know what our duties are in the relationship. We've learned that slowly. Yeah. But also we learned that through discussion. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So then being together as a married wife and a married husband and wife.
That was another thing. You were really good at all that.
Yeah. Because I lived, like I said, by myself since I was 16, so I knew about bills. But you lived with your parents.
So I never had to worry about paying bills or anything like that. I had my credit card, but I never really used it. I didn't have a mortgage to pay. I didn't pay council tax. I didn't pay water rates. I was at mum and dad's house. So all I did was say, here you go, mum and dad, here's a couple of £100 every month to say, look, like, this is my share. I'm not sitting here for free, but I never went shopping.
No.
I didn't do anything.
No, you didn't know nothing really.
I had to relearn it.
Yeah.
But sheltered in terms of being a man.
That's what I mean.
In regards to running a household. Yeah,
exactly.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
and then you just spend your money on holidays, isn't it?
I used to spend all my money on holidays and being going out with friends. £200 shirt. And you're thinking, whereas now I can't do that. You're thinking, wow, that's crazy.
That was a big adjustment.
Yeah, so I had to adjust to all that.
Yes.
Once we got together and bought our house, then I realised we had bills to pay.
Yes.
And more council tax and
life insurance,
service charges and everything.
Yeah. Once we bought the house, the money was just like non-existent. It just goes. So it was like lots of
definitely went easy.
Yeah. So it was just like basically lots of changes. So I think that answers most of the question, isn't it?
I mean, that is mainly what we had to adjust to. Aside from that, we never had any real other issues. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Jazzy one. Basically, it was me that really had to adjust to being in a westernized relationship rather than having expectations like I would have in an Indian relationship, where my wife would have done everything for me. She would have cooked, she would have cleaned. So in all honesty, Primrose didn't really have to adjust because of cultural reasons, because I just needed to adjust. So in all honesty, you were quite good.
Yeah, because I already sort of like lived alone anyway, so it was no big deal. I knew how to pay for bills
and you're really mature anyway, babe.
Yeah, like that. And I'm very introverted anyway, so I'm not really a party animal.
So I didn't have to worry about saying to her, stop going out with your friends,
stop partying every weekend.
In all honesty, I was the one that did then adjust my social life as well. So again, that comes down to cultural, but also
just being married.
Because culturally, in an Indian relationship, you might say, "Wait a minute, I'm going out.
Yeah,
like I'll be home when I come home."
And I'm like, I need to sleep because the baby's been crying all day.
Whereas in a westernized relationship, you still need to say, okay, I understand, babe. Don't worry, I'm not going to go out this week. I went out last week. I'll meet the guys in another week or something, whatever. Yeah, because you have to understand that you're now married and you've got responsibilities now.
Yeah, so, and you have to sort of like share the burden of like how a household runs. You can just like push it on the wife's head and that's it.
So that I think answers the question as much as possible from who it affected more.
Exactly. So so I hope that answers your questions. If we didn't address anything, just let us know in the question below. And if you, the viewers watching this video, if you've got anything that you want to know, feel free to also leave your comments and questions in the comment section down below, and we'll do our best to answer all the videos
and make sure you guys share on the social media, Facebook, Twitter,
and
videos.
Give us a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, that's it, isn't it? Alright, bye guys, see you in our next video. Take care.